My name is Vanley Burke. I've been documenting the lives and experience of black people living in Birmingham, in Handsworth in particular, for the past over 30 years. Came to England in 1965 and started to take photographs of families and friends. I was given a camera by my mother when I was about 10 years old, still living in Jamaica. And my interest grew in the whole process, scientific process. How does it take the photograph and all of that? Started with families and friends, people who came to the shop, talking to them, seeing what their lives were, their experience was. And at the time there's a lot of negative images of these people, so I felt the need, if you like, to capture, to document some of them, not necessarily more positive, but just to document their lives.
Small. That's a tree.
Here I am. This is where I took the photograph in the 70s, boy with the flag. I saw Hugs, who was riding his bicycle and walking his dog. I knew him. We had a shop on Grove Lane, and his mom was one of our customers, and I took a few photographs of him. And one of the photographs is now quite popular, the one of him standing by his bike. I had him, for the first photograph I had him standing down there, and for the others, as you can see, I took a few more photographs, the one of him riding up the hill on his bike. I was pretty well standing over there, and he was riding up the hill with the flag blowing in the wind, the Union flag blowing in the wind. I then took a few more photographs. The one we're using in this exhibition was taken pretty well from over there, with the rail adjacent to the railway fence in the background. All right! Meeting people was very good, hearing their stories about their lives, where they'd lived, how they'd lived, their experience, the racism they suffered. And it was, I think racism was quite blatant in those days. It was the whole, no Irish, no dogs, no blacks. It was pubs that would only have certain amount of glasses available for black people to drink from, or they would break the glass after a black person drank from the glass. People who were being treated like that responded, because on the one hand they would, pubs that would break the glass, they take their friends down there, and after they drank they would break the glasses themselves. And you do that a few times and the landlord really can't sustain that loss, so you just coming in, We're standing outside the Bull's Head in Villa Road here, where I took some of the photographs of some old men playing dominoes with an English lady standing above them, talking to one of the gentlemen. The idea for the photograph was really one of many, to see how people spend their recreational time. Just trying to see, now that they've worked in the factories and buses and other means. The pub, like many pubs in England, is closed down, which is why we're not inside taking the photograph. And the window you see in the photograph is the window which is behind me in this photograph here. I had my camera on me all the while because I felt the need to document all aspects of the lives that these people were living. And what I did is I had an imaginary friend who was actually someone who I grew up with in Jamaica. He would want to know where I'd gone and what was the place like, what were the trees like, the house, the weather. It somehow reminded me that I need to cover as much as possible so that he might be able to see what's there. So it was a case of capturing some of these things for them, but it was never really for his consumption. It was just to make sure I covered everything that I think would be necessary. The photographer we're referring to on this occasion is a young man walking into fog, walking away from the camera into what was dense fog at the time. The physical aspect of the street, as you can see, is changed. As I say, the street furniture has been upgraded. The fence and the seatings and trees have been planted and so on.